Good morning, everybody. Welcome to beautiful downtown Ball Ground. And welcome, Professor Norman. How are you?
Doing well. Happy to be here.
I'm so glad you're here. And you brought an amazing group of young students from the University of Georgia.
Yes, they're all from the Lamar Dodd School of Art. We have a couple young ladies who have already graduated, but they are newly minted, and they are now teaching high school in the state of Georgia. And the other ladies are either seniors who've been accepted into graduate programs across America, or they are outstanding junior students.
And we have seen the work that they are going to produce on walls here of the buildings in Ball Ground.
Very excited, and the design was made by Alondra Arevalo, and she's our chief designer, and she's just really fantastic. And Katie Itzen is our project manager, and today's feature artist is Catherine Cook.
Well, I have seen the draft. And oh my goodness, it is amazing to me that they chose the correct colors of the Cherokee.
Well, it's so interesting when you brought that to our attention, and I asked Katie about it. She said that whomever she was negotiating with from the city, they were moving her into that direction, and it's sort of like osmosis took over, and we had like one of these happy accidents.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, also, they're going to do a mural about Coca-Cola, and the Ball Ground Coca-Cola was a big part of this city. And a Ball Ground Coke bottle is still very highly sought after. So it's amazing that you're going to do both. What's the process, and how long did it take you to make this come to be?
Well, the whole thing is in the planning and the negotiating, because one of the things I'm trying to teach these young ladies is how to become entrepreneurs and small business owners. And the one thing you have to do when you own a small business is watch the bottom line. You don't want to have a lot of waste. You don't want to buy too much or have too little. But you want to really pay attention to the details. So the detail is in the planning. So we went through planning stages with the city managers here and getting permission from the owners of the building and those types of things. And then working very closely with the client, we were able to come up with several design variations. We presented that to the city, and then they made their selection.
It's amazing. Now, we actually have a drone coming to kind of catch everything we possibly can, because you told me they can finish this in 1 to 2 days. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Generally, no matter what the job is, we guarantee our work 24 to 72 hours.
That's crazy. I have seen this. Just the drawing. I'm like, on this huge building. Now, how large is this mural going to be?
Oh, this is easily like a 45, 50-foot mural.
Right.
This is huge.
Yeah.
And the thing that makes it really possible, the city was very kind enough to get us a lift. And a lift just gives us a chance not to be on ladders and only be able to work at arm's distance. Now we have a range of about 6 or 8 feet where I can put two of the young ladies in that cherry picker, and then they can just keep working, and then you adjust it, and we can move and do twice as fast. And then right now, there's a young lady who is doing the outline of the mural. Earlier, while there was downtime, they popped the lines for the borders, so that's already done. And so now, while all that's going on, I have 2 young ladies color matching. So when it's time to press the go button, everybody is given an assignment, and that's what you're hired to do.
That's amazing. That is amazing. Now, what if somebody wants to seek a mural for their city?
That often happens, and we sometimes, they will contact the people who have hired us and say, who did you talk to, and how did you get in touch with them? We never solicit, because we are a student organization and we don't do this for a living. I never receive monetary compensation. I receive credits as a service from the university, and then they make a determination whether they'd like to give me a pay increase for, cost of living, or what we call merit pay, and that type of thing like this. But it's a labor of love for us, and that's why we do it. But generally, if you go online and look up Color the World Bright, our contact information is there. Or if you stop by and see us, you just make an inquiry from the people who hired us in the city, and they just pass us along word of mouth. And we were busy last year all the way up until December.
Oh, I can imagine. Now, can we talk a little bit about the mural that was done in Elberton, Georgia?
Oh, yes.
which is one of my favorite cities.
We've done several now there, and we started out with the first one was the Coca-Cola mural, which was one of the largest, I think, in the state. It was huge. And I think the one we've now done in Danielsville, maybe Elberton is still the largest, I think. Elberton is largest. And then we went from there. There is a gymnasium there, a very modern sort of New York upscale gymnasium there in Elberton, but I'm sorry I can't remember the name of it. They hired us to do a tribute mural to the father, who is now deceased, of the new owner, this young lady there. Oh. And we did that, and it was based off some designs from a famous artist from the 1960s and 70s, pop artist. His name was Peter Max. So we call it the hippie mural.
I love that.
And it looks like a cover you see on the Grateful Dead or something. It's very beautiful and fun. And then from there, we were contacted by a gun and recreation shop. They sell camping, fishing equipment, and also firearms. And, I can't remember Ty's last name, but he's a very nice guy. And that was a very special mural because it's massive. It's almost 80 feet in length, and it's 2 stories almost. And, but this man, it was done in the dead of winter, and the young ladies were in duplicates and triplicates, layers. And he built sort of a little tent for us, and he heated it so the girls could come and thaw out. And that is so beautiful. And so we've done maybe 3 or 4 murals now in Elberton, and it's all because of City Councilman Rick Prince and his endorsement of us, and then people pass us on to other places. And I'd like to make an announcement. We are going to do a pro bono mural for Elberton, for I think it's a recovery center for women there. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, so we're going to be doing that. And since we are an all-girl group, it's wonderful that they're women helping women.
I was about to ask you that question. Are there any guys in your classes?
There used to be quite a few guys, but little by little, when they graduate, we replace it with the most qualified person. So running for the last 3 or 4 years now, the most qualified people to work have been all girls, and so we just decided to make it all girl group, and it's worked out really fun. And every now and then, a young man would like to try, and I just sort of shake my head and say, "This is not going to work well." But if we could find a guy that can outpaint the ladies, then we're happy to give them a look. But so far, that hasn't happened in 3 or 4 years.
So let's throw a challenge out there. Let's talk a little bit about your career and what is it about art that you love?
Well, I just like the idea of working to sort of make beautiful statements that can sort of maybe change the world, change the society. I think one art critic, Dr. Pamela Taylor, I can't think of her, Virginia Commonwealth University, she once said that I take ugly things and make them beautiful, and look at difficult moments in the course of human history. At the present, I have a retrospective on right now at the Newport Art Museum, and they're looking back on maybe 3 decades of work. And I'm happy to talk about race, politics, and social justice. But I also talk about love and family and things like that, because it was my mother and my older sister that sort of nurtured me as an artist. And so I'm very happy to do those things. But unfortunately, we still kind of live in turbulent times. And so it is up to the artist to sort of speak truth to power to the best of our ability, to sort of illuminate the purpose of man's existence, and to try to create a lifelong self-portrait simultaneous. So I'm always trying to just be truthful in my work, to speak with the voice of a poet and have the heart of a warrior.
I love that. My mother was dying of cancer. She called me one day and she said, how many grandkids do you have? And I counted them, and she said, okay. I said, why, Mama? And she said, I'm going to paint each of them a lighthouse painting to leave them when I'm gone. And so on her monument, I put, "Your life is a light, let it shine."
Oh, that's beautiful.
And put a lighthouse on her monument. But it truly, in whatever way, whether it be poetry or whether it be art, painting, floral designing, whatever, we all have something to give back.
Sure.
And I think that's so important.
Yeah, and I try to tell the young ladies, and I said, a lot of people always say they like to live in interesting times, and I say, I push back against that, and I tell them, you should endeavor to make the times that you live in interesting. So you have to be proactive, and you have to support each other, and don't be afraid to admit that you don't know or that you were wrong. And so it works out. They're very supportive of one another. They're very helpful. The ones who are the seniors help the juniors help the sophomores, and that type of thing. And the ones that are like already beginning their careers, either as professional artists or teachers, they come back and they lend a hand and they give guidance. And so it's a beautiful thing. We have several generations of Color the World Bright, and it all just started from a bunch of kids wanting to earn a little extra money to have scholarships to travel, study abroad. And they came to me and said, could you tell us a little bit? You painted murals before. Could you tell us? So I got tired of them just coming back, and I said, you guys need direction. So I'm going to train you, and then I'm going to walk away. Well, some 62 murals later, I'm still here.
Okay, 62 murals. Where else can people see your work?
Oh my God. Elberton, Rutledge, let's see.
Rutledge is just
Tigno.
outside Covington.
Yes.
Yes.
Tigno, and which those ladies there were really wonderful, and they have a great slogan, I'd rather be in Tigno.
I love it.
So we have been as far as Columbus, Madison, Greensboro, Danielsville, Isla, let's see. I don't know, it's just so many different, Calhoun, and my goodness, I can't, it's just so many different places now that we've been across Atlanta, all across the state really, and Sandersville, Eatonton, so when I'm thinking about all these different stops we made, we did the official Olympic portrait in Sandersville. There's also a soldier who invented the cadence that you hear the military sing when they, sound off 1, 2, sound off. Well, he was an African American, and he is from Sandersville.
Wow.
And also, there was a young lady who won the gold medal in basketball, and she's from there, Alicia Gray. There's also Griffin. We did a significant portrait there of, I can't remember her last name, but she's the first black female aviator. She was dubbed the Black Amelia Earhart, and that's in Griffin, Georgia. And it was so fortuitous that one of the students who participated in that, she's actually an airplane pilot.
That's what I was going to ask you next question. Tell me, you were telling me what they excel in besides art. These ladies are amazing.
They're all were double majors or triple majors, and so we have art educators, we have graphic design, we have 2 school teachers, we have 2 newlyweds, we have an airplane pilot, we had, prior to this, a person who was pre-med, and now she's in San Diego at medical school to become a plastic surgeon. We've had a couple, we call them eggheads, girls who were into science, and they're engineers and biologists, and you'd be surprised, we come from all walks of life and different religions and different, we have Asian students, African American students, Irish students, Hispanic, you name it, African American. It's just, it's sort of open to talent. So no matter what color you are, what race, what orientation, LGBTQ community, We believe in a philosophy of creating a community of learners where each one teaches one. We believe in the concept of good, better, best. We love to think, rethink, and think again. The one most important thing that I think makes our group successful is that I wake up every day with the philosophy that what my aim and job is, either at the university or with this group, is to first engage, the next is to inform, and then the next thing, which is the most important thing, to inspire.
I love that. I love that. I've said for years, if you can be an inspiration in any way, from the smallest tiny thing, that can change a life forever. So, yeah. Well, I have seen these young ladies, and you do not attract slackers. I can tell you that. I can tell you that. They are amazing. They are amazing. Thank you for being here today, and thank you for coming to Ball Ground. This is very, very exciting, and I hope that people will stop by Ball Ground, and by the end of the weekend, they will see new murals coming about. And again, what a gift! What a gift! Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.